Well, good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Business Basics hosted here by Action Coach Campus. My name is Lee Iben. I'm the chief cook and bottle washer, I guess you could say, talking in restaurant terms today, Adam. And my special guest is Adam Hadjis with Gianna's Italian Beef in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So Adam, welcome. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Lee.
So Adam, tell us, Gianna's has been open now for 3 years, but you had mentioned earlier that you've been in the restaurant business almost your whole life. So kind of give me the backstory on why you decided to go this direction.
Sure. It's funny you ask because I spent the majority of my life telling me I would never go into the restaurant business. But it just so happened my oldest daughter, who I named the restaurant after, she had passed away in 2012. I had been, kind of bouncing back and forth with corporate America, taking different avenues there. I just decided, maybe it's time to go in business for myself. I'm getting to a point now where I've got the training, I've got everything that I need to, all the tools that I need. I feel like I've been groomed from a number of different levels of business in order to ring out on my own. So I just decided what better than to go with something that I've been doing, my whole life. And in that respect, the restaurant business that my family owned was called the Vernon Inn. It was open for 35 years. It was a staple in Cedar Rapids. A lot of people know and love that restaurant and still miss it to this day. Sorry, I've got my little ones in the background.
That's all right. It's all good.
They were supposed to stay in the bedroom.
It's all fine.
I've got many girls here, all my kids. But so anyway, the restaurant. Guys, we're actually on a video and we're recording right now. So can you please?
You know what, Adam? It's a family-friendly deal. So we're
that's part of having a family restaurant. Can you please get your sister here, please? Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. So in answer to your question, though, as little as I can remember, with maybe my oldest now, I was coming home from school, reporting to the kitchen, and learned all the do's and don'ts, along the way, and here I am trying to do it myself in my own version. So
well, I love it. You know what? And classic example with the kids running around the background. This is why we go into business for ourselves. We want to have the freedom that maybe a corporate job would not provide for us. I mean, and it's not always about the money. It's more, I need this freedom. When my wife and I opened up a pediatric dental clinic in Coralville, she's the dentist and she's locked and loaded every day. I was the business manager, and I had that flexibility to where I could serve on the school board or run and do errands, or my son would call me up before the talent show that day at school and say, "Hey Dad, I forgot my horn or my drum kit or something." It's like, all right, I'll be there. So this is why we do what we do, Adam. This is a classic example. Because it gives you that flexibility. I mean, some days it doesn't feel like it. Some days you feel like you're living at your job, right? At Gianna's, but you still have that control when you need it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me. So you grew up with the Vernon Inn. Mom and Dad had that place. So lifelong Cedar Rapidian then, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of back and forth between Des Moines and Cedar Rapids. My mom had spent years in the hospitality business in Des Moines. And then it was actually my uncle and his wife and my grandfather that opened the Vernon Inn. But my father at some point partnered with my uncle, and it was a family business regardless. But it was mostly my uncle Basil and his wife Lynn that ran the show. But and then he later on opened up a catering business. So Cedar Rapids, but I joined the military after I got out of high school. Traveled the world, did a tour in Iraq, decided, I'm good with deployments now. I made it back in one piece. Lived in Chicago for a short spell. It was probably 5 or 6 years I was in Chicago. Was a barber for a while, full time. And then I kind of picked up on that cuisine that I later brought into Cedar Rapids with the Italian beef. And again, my daughter passing away was part of, paying homage,
Yes.
and kind of helping her legacy live on, but at the same time, bringing a niche market to Cedar Rapids that seemingly no one has capitalized on
Right.
thus far. So I saw the opportunity and decided, I know the demographic. I'm from Cedar Rapids. I know the area. I know what to expect. So that's kind of where we landed. So.
Well, and I love the niche that you've identified with Italian beef, and I love how you tied it back in memory of your daughter. Purple is a prominent color throughout the restaurant and on your website, because that was obviously Gianna's favorite color. And so every day, and it's tough with a parent that loses a child, but every day you're living her memory, which I think is so special. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So how's business been going? I mean, COVID was rough. I mean, a lot of folks, right?
Yeah. I mean, we certainly, we were forced to reinvent ourselves a couple times. The to-go market and paper products, I like to call them one ways because you only get to use them once.
Right.
But that type of business has really taken off for us. We've had to meet the demand of third-party delivery services, DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, you name it. So yeah, just taking what was once a foot traffic, familiar face, downtown thriving, business to I just want to come in and pick it up or get it delivered.
Right.
And needing it to move that much faster. Needing to have our products hold up that much longer. We've been forced to roll with the punches. So
right.
I'd say we've done a pretty good job. It's been a learning process for myself and my staff, but I feel like we've withstood the brunt of it, the bulk of the storm. I wouldn't say we're completely out of the deep water yet.
I hope we're closer. I hope we can see the shoreline, Adam. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. But yeah, it's been interesting. I'm just thankful we're still here. And you got to evolve. If you think you're gonna do it the same way that we did it with the Vernon Inn years ago, I feel like we wouldn't be here any longer. So it's just it's a matter of being okay with the changes and adapting to what's working, what's not, looking at other business models and things like that. You got to be able to change. If you don't, you get complacent, and that's how businesses die. So
that's exactly right. And looking back on those businesses, and I'm not talking restaurants, I'm talking all types of businesses that did not survive COVID. Many of them were just unable to evolve or couldn't make that mindset shift to how can I still continue to do what I do, but we got to change it up. It's a whole different shopping environment now.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah. So tell me this. Okay, great food for one thing. So if folks are hungry and they're looking for Italian beef, that's where they got to go. I mean, hands down. Okay, we got that established. But tell me this: if someone wants to go into business for themselves, all right, you've been doing this now for 3 years on your own. Okay, so still relatively new in the business ownership restaurant area. Yep. What's the advice you're going to give to some kid comes up to you out of college or out of high school and says, "Hey, Mr. Hadjis, I really want to open up my own business." What's that piece of advice?
And that's a really loaded question. I know you know that.
It is.
But it's funny because I just got a chance to speak to a group, LFS, youth LFS here in Cedar Rapids. And I got to speak to a bunch of juniors in high school. So I did get to touch on this a little bit. And I mean, the advice I would definitely give is, you really gotta ask yourself, is this something that you're okay with devoting almost all of your time and energy for for at least, 3-4 years,
Oh, yeah.
and that could be 40 hours a week, that could be 60 hours a week, it could be
Yep.
80 hours a week. It just depends, what the demand is and what it's going to take. And really, I think in the planning stages was where I maybe missed my mark, to begin with, was just budgeting, opening up a new business, needing to have the funding in place, and you can sit and scrutinize a budget and where you're going to spend it as much as you want, but giving myself enough room in case of those what ifs.
Right.
I probably didn't allow that as much as I should have, and it made things a little difficult. I had to get a little bit more creative, but we made it, and I was able to walk away from that, still with both my feet on the ground. But I'd say mostly probably those two things. It's always going to cost a little more than you think it is up front.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially when you're trying to budget things and look good for the bank and have it all, dolled up to where I'm only going to need this amount of money, or I'm only going to spend this much money. You better give yourself some room, and
Right.
and just the time in how long it's going to take to execute at least the foreground, the foundation of everything that you're trying to lay. And then entrusting that you can find a person to train and
Right.
pass that torch to where you're not there 40, 50, 60 hours a week, making
Yes.
sure, because I also made the mistake of wanting to be the guy at the register, the guy making the food, the guy doing, handing the food, the guy,
Right.
Everywhere. I want it to be everywhere. And I just,
Yep.
you can't do that, because you're going to wear yourself out, and
Oh boy.
you're going to undermine your staff too, because you're going to make them feel like they're not capable of the job that you've hired them for. So,
Absolutely.
that's probably be the top three things I would
Those are
suggest
big.
to anybody going into business for themselves. So
Yeah, they're huge, and you're spot on. I mean, it starts with a great idea, but that great idea better be something that you believe in so much, because you're going to be challenged every morning at 4 a.m. to make the right decision.
yeah, absolutely.
And you just absolutely, I mean, platinum, solid, ironclad. It has to be absolutely, I made the right decision. And then we go on and we do our market share analysis, and is the market going to support this great idea that I have?
Right.
But you're right, having whatever that is, 10, 15, 20% added into your budget for some side cash, because stuff happens.
Yep.
I mean, when we're building a business plan, it is our crystal ball, but it's not accurate all the time.
Right.
And we have to be able to have that. And then, like you said, we got to get our egos out of the way, and we have to train people how to do it the way our vision is, right? We want them to do it Adam's way, but I don't want to be Adam doing it all the time. I want to train people how to do it my way, so I can step off to the side. Kind of like raising your kids, right, Adam? I mean,
yeah,
same deal.
Yeah, you can't be there forever. If you don't teach them how to look both ways, you're not going to be there all the time. So
great.
Yeah, that was definitely that was tough for me. I'd say the first 6 months I wore myself into the ground, and then I realized, okay, this isn't working in my favor here. So
right. You've learned a lot in 3 years. Let's put it that way. Yeah. We'll call it that. We call them learnings. Lots of learnings. Boy, I know
That's
when I
right.
was, we had our business as well. Lots of learning. So
That's
my
right.
nose was bloodied more than once from falling on my face, I got to tell you. So, well, Adam, thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Gianna's Beef, Third Avenue? No, Third Street, Third Avenue. Third Street,
Third Street,
375.
Third Street and 4th Avenue.
Okay, perfect. And takeout, delivery, whatever kind of delivery is out there. If you want,
we deliver exclusively through DoorDash. You can order online, and we're always open Monday through Friday. We're getting ready to extend into the springtime for hours as well. We'll be open again on Saturdays here once it warms up. So.
Yep, and they can go on to giannasbeef.com and check out all the menu and see some great photos and some great food. So, thank you, Adam. Yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you, Lee. Yep.